Double like if you like this video now.
It's a double
And
like.
subscribe now.
Yo. What is good, y'all? We are back with another episode of Radio Moss. It's been a minute. It's been a long minute, actually. The hiatus is due to a lot of the old logos and stuff for the series of the podcast, and the podcast logo series in general was AI generated. And I just didn't want AI art to be a part of me or my brand, even though I hate that word brand, but I didn't want AI art to be associated with me moving forward. And so yeah, so now I got an artist to recreate the images for me. Only human art from here on out. My art is entirely human made, and so I want all art associated with me to be entirely human made as well. Yeah, so that was the reason for the hiatus, but um, I want to get back into the groove of things with this podcast. And the episode that I kind of really wanted to get back into it with was my top 11 albums. To be specific, my top 11 rap albums of 2025. Why rap specifically? Because I did not listen to enough non-rap to give you guys like a list that I think would be worthwhile. Like I wouldn't do that type of list justice. Um, but a rap list, I listened to a shit ton of rap projects last year. So I definitely feel like I have enough of a grasp on how the year was for rap that I can give you guys a pretty damn good list for it. And then why 11? Kenny, that's a weird fucking number. Why you pick 11? I picked 11 because you'll see. You'll see. All right. We'll go through the list. We'll get through all 11, and by the end of it, you guys will understand why I went with 11 instead of just going with the normal 10 or 15. I considered doing 15, but ultimately I wanted to just keep this to the cream of the crop, and I feel like the real cream of the crop was top 10. Um, that being said, there was a shit ton of albums that came out that were incredible. So there's going to be a lot of honorable mentions. I'll probably put them up at the end of the list if I remember. I would put them up here right now, but I don't want to. I don't want to. I guess spoil is the word I'm looking for. I don't want to spoil what doesn't make the list. If you think something might be on the list, for me, whenever I watch videos like this, there's something enjoyable about not having what isn't on the list spoiled for you. So yeah, so I'll put the honorable mentions up at the end if I remember to do that. And let's just get right into it, man. I just want to start talking about some of these albums. So there's actually, let me take a look. I got my notes right here. So I actually do have an artist who made the list twice. Hopefully that doesn't spoil much of anything. But at number 10, I'm gonna go with Black Hole Superette by Aesop Rock. Now, this was a project that Aesop has been on a little bit of a pretty crazy stretch at the moment, to say the least, especially in this 2020s decade. For somebody who kind of like really began doing their thing in the 90s to still be here in the 2020s, rapping as well as he is and on a run, an album run that he's on, is very impressive. That being said, when I first listened to this, I want to say this dropped earlier in 2025. But when I first listened to this, I wasn't like crazy hyped on it in the way that I was for like Integrated Tech Solutions or Spirit World Field Guide or Garbology. Like the stretch that this man has been on has been amazing, and I've was obsessed with every one of those albums at different points during this decade. But this one initially was not catching me the same way, and I still don't think I like it quite as much as those other three that I named. But I grew to love it pretty much in the same tier or nearly as much as I love those other ones. So, first off, I'll just kind of list through some of these tracks that like I really, really fuck with. Secret Knock and Checkers, I think, is a phenomenal way to start the project. I absolutely love those two tracks. I absolutely love the track with Arm & Hammer. I think it's 1,010 Wins. That track is incredible. Send Help is incredible. So Be It with Open Mike Eagle was really, really good. Um, and then there was like, Charlie Horse with fucking Lupe and Homeboy Sandman was really good. The final stretch of this album to me is like where this album really, really shines. The final stretch from Charlie Horse to Steel Wool to Black Plums to Red Phone, Himalayan Yak Chew, Unbelievable Shenanigans. That final stretch is one hell of a way to fucking close a project out. And so that to me is like really, really what caused this one to make the cut. Because like I said, there were so many incredible projects that came out this year. Like narrowing down to 10 was not easy for me. And what ultimately made me decide, okay, Aesop with this album needs to make the 10th spot was the way this album closes, man. That stretch towards the end is just it for some parts of this album, it's not like any parts were bad. I don't skip any tracks on this album. I want to make that very clear. It's really hard for me to skip tracks on albums. I really am married to the idea of like fully listening to what the artist envisioned, and that means even if a track isn't one of my favorites, I still listen to it all the way through unless it really is just like unbearable for me. So that's something you'll find about me if you guys start watching this podcast more and shit. But I I don't skip tracks on albums very often unless I really, really dislike it. This I don't skip anything here, and I wouldn't say there's a track here that I dislike or like I'm tolerating to get through, but there's just some moments that aren't as high as others. Like the highs on this album are super, super high, and I just feel like there's other moments that just kind of feel like, yeah, this is a typical or a more average Aesop style track. Tracks that I kind of mean there, like John Something, not a bad song. It's funny, like it's a well done track. It's not a bad song by any means, but is John Something, or is Snail Zero, are these songs that I hold as high regard as these ones that close the album, or that do I hold these songs in high of a regard as like 1,010 Wins or like Checkers? Like, nah, like Send Help, like those songs are incredible and some of the better songs that Aesop has put out in this recent run, which is saying something because like I said, this run is fucking bananas. So that's kind of my thing, is that it's just this album doesn't have, it's not peaked the whole way through. There's just moments that I don't want to call them lulls because like I said, they're not bad songs, but they're just not quite peaking as high as some of the other ones. But the way this thing closes is absolutely phenomenal. Aesop did it again. This is another incredible album in his discography. And yeah, it would have felt wrong to me to put any of these other ones that I was considering for the 10th spot. It just would have felt wrong for me to try to claim that I enjoy any of those albums more than I enjoy this one. I think this is a phenomenal project, and I really, really fucked with it. So that was my number 10. Coming in at number 9, I am going with a posthumous release that dropped like super, super early in the year. I'm going to go with Balloonerism by Mac Miller. This is not one of my favorite Mac Miller albums, but it is a Mac Miller album that just I have always been intrigued by. And it's a little bit interesting to put this one on the list because like not because it's a posthumous release, but because it's a release that I have been familiar with for like a few years now. So if I'm sure many of you who are Mac Miller fans like are aware that Balloonerism leaked a long time ago before we ever got this official release version. And the official release version, it's got a better mix and master. Like there's some things different about it, some new things about it. But generally speaking, we heard a lot of these tracks and a lot of the structure of these tracks a while back. If you were like a super hardcore Mac fan and you were around for when this project leaked. And so it does feel a little bit weird to put it on a 2025 list, but I think that the official release is like important enough and new enough for most people in the year of 2025 that it still belongs on this list. And I think it is a very well done project. It is one of the more like experimental and left field projects in Mac's discography, and Mac was no stranger to doing that. Like you can look at the Delusional Thomas mixtape, really any of the mixtapes, Faces, Watching Movies, like Macadelic, like he didn't shy away from experimenting with his music. He even put out the whole UEP, which was the whole jazz thing, like Larry Lovestein and whatever. So like Mac wasn't one to shy away from experimenting, but even with that being said, this is still like even a touch more experimental than you would even expect from him. Um, and I think that's one of the most intriguing things about this project. So when I compare it to like some of the other projects in Mac's discography, some of my favorite Mac Miller albums are like Faces, Swimming, Watching Movies with the Sound Off, Divine Feminine, Kids is always going to be nostalgic, of course. You know, Circles, Macadelic. Like when I compare it to these projects, for many of them, I don't quite enjoy it quite as much. Like especially when we talk about just the other stuff from this era. So this era is like Watching Movies, Faces. That comes from this era. When I compare it to those two projects, I do think I like both of those projects more than Balloonerism. But that being said, like I do think it's a worthwhile addition to his discography, and I'm glad it got an official release because it is a project that even though it never had an official release prior, I would still go visit it just because some of the tracks were still really well done, and I think it holds a place in Mac's discography. Like I think we've seen so many different versions of Mac throughout his career. You know, the R&B like smooth style Mac with like Divine Feminine, super rap heavy lyricist Mac on like Faces. We've gotten like not it's not pop music, but you know, singer songwriter Mac on Circles. Like we have seen such a wide range for Mac throughout his career that I do think like having his most experimental or most like weird and out there album I think is kind of essential in his discography. And so I'm glad that this got an official release. I can't bring myself to say that I like it more than the 8 projects, or I said 8, but and I said 10 with the Aesop album too. My fault. There's 11 albums on this list, guys. There's 11 albums on this list, but it's gonna get confusing. So Black Hole Superette made the cut at number 11. This is making the cut at number 10. My fault. I keep getting confused on that. Let me actually fix this so that I don't continue to get confused on that. But there we go. Cool. So y'all are gonna be like, what the fuck? You'll see, bro. You'll see. So yeah, so making the cut at number 10 is gonna be Balloonerism by Mac Miller. And yeah, man, I think it's worthwhile. I just can't bring myself to say that I like it more than these other projects that I have above it. At number 9, we've got Starline, Chance the Rapper. And this was like, I guess you could call it a comeback story for Chance, right? Like Chance was a little bit of like rap's darling child for like a while there because Acid Rap comes out, and Acid Rap is it's weird, it's unique, it's super lyrical, has a very underground sound, but still showcased a lot of versatility. And like Acid Rap in a way just kind of became like an underground rap fans like darling of an album. And then he follows up Acid Rap with Coloring Book, which Coloring Book, I mean, I don't know if others agree with me on this, but Coloring Book felt so vastly different from Acid Rap. Like Acid Rap felt like an underground rap album, almost like a backpacker project. And Coloring Book felt like fucking like a mainstream, like super commercial, super poppy, like just a completely different realm of audience and of intention and all that shit, right? But it was phenomenal in that realm. So we saw back-to-back projects from Chance where it was like, okay, I could do the underground backpacker lyrical shit, and then I can follow that up with this mainstream more, what's the word I'm looking for? Just more commercial. He can go the commercial route and still make shit that we absolutely love, because just because Coloring Book was more commercial, more mainstream, I still love that album. I don't love it as much as Acid Rap, but for a mainstream commercial album, like he fucking hit the nail on the head. So we saw that Chance can do both, and I think that kind of created Chance to be like one of the darling childs of our generation of rap, because we saw him exist in both worlds and excel in both worlds. And um man, I gotta stop saying bro. It's gonna piss me off when I go to edit this. But so for those two projects to come out, Chance really became like a bit of a darling child, and then he follows it up with The Big Day. And I think the general consent I have yet to meet somebody who like really enjoys that album. I think the general consensus for The Big Day is that it just was very subpar, especially by the bar that Chance had set for himself. And so Chance kind of went from immediately, like so quick, like in one release's time, went from being this darling child of rap to like being somebody that almost like people I would almost just see people on the internet just like clowning Chance every opportunity they got. Like he was just somebody who it became fun to hate on or easy to hate on, when he was like the complete opposite just a few years before. So The Big Day really, to a certain extent, like tanked Chance's career. I don't think it changed any of those. I don't think it changed any of those previous albums for us. Like I don't think it changed how we viewed Acid Rap, Coloring Book, or even 10 Day. But it did change how we viewed Chance moving forward. I think a lot of people lost faith in Chance putting out another project that we would enjoy as much as Acid Rap and Coloring Book. But this one, I've gone off on a massive tangent here, but this one, Starline, it was definitely like a comeback story for Chance. And it was just super, it put a smile on my face to hear this album and hear Chance in a space where he not only is rapping as well as he is on this album, but he's finding the balance of you're getting a little bit of acid rap, more lyrical, pen focused Chance, but then you're also getting the fact that he can still exist in this mainstream and material, or not material, but mainstream and commercial sound. And so we're getting the best of both worlds from this album here. And then also it was really enjoyable to see Chance like tackling the subject matter that he was tackling on this album, because he's saying a lot of real shit on this album, and he's saying a lot of shit that like I think is very needed for us to hear right now. It was, I loved it, man. Like I was genuinely like really really surprised, and as somebody who was a fan of Chance growing up in high school, like just was really ecstatic to hear him come back with something like this. I think the production was very good. Like I said, we got the best of both worlds. I feel like we got all different sides of Chance. It wasn't like it was fully mainstream, but it wasn't like he was abandoning the pen. Like he has some of his best verses on here, some of his most clever lines on here. The production was really good throughout, and like I said, man, the subject matter, like it was awesome to hear Chance talking about all the things that he was talking about on here. Like subject matter is very crucial for me for music that I listen to like frequently. Like if I'm not, if the subject matter isn't fully connecting, even if I enjoy the sound of an album, it's not going to get quite as much play unless I really really enjoy the sound. It's not going to get quite as much play as an album that resonates with me on a subject matter level, and this album absolutely does. I think this album is healing, not just for us, but for Chance. I think this album is a reminder that you can stumble, you can trip up a little bit, and it doesn't mean that you're not, or that you're any less great. It just means that you're human. So, shout out to Chance, man, for coming with just a really, really awesome project. It was really, really refreshing to hear Chance, like a project from Chance that, like, I absolutely love again. So, shout out to Chance, man. Awesome job on this project. Coming in at number 8, I have JID with God Does Like Ugly. Now, JID's last album, The Forever Story, was, I think, fucking incredible. Like that shit is like a masterpiece to me. That shit is like 10 out of 10. I think it's one of the best rap albums of our generation, one of the best rap albums of, I say our generation, but I guess it's kind of the next generation now. But it's one of the best rap albums of this decade. Absolutely, the 2020s for sure. And you know, when you come out with one of the best rap albums of the decade, like the expectation on the next one obviously gets heightened and increased, and the pressure is on. And a lot of times that can result in disappointment because sometimes the pressure can get too high. And like, you're just a human, you're just an artist, you're gonna put out the best work that you can. But if it doesn't fit the expectations, or if it doesn't do what people think it's supposed to do, whatever, that can oftentimes result in disappointment. Do I enjoy this project as much as the Forever Story? I don't. But does that mean I want to make this very clear. I'm an artist myself, so I don't go into projects thinking this has to be better than the last one you put out. I just go into projects trying to understand from the artist standpoint, what are you trying to express here? How did you try to challenge yourself or differentiate this project from the last one or from previous ones? And just what makes this one unique in your discography? Because for me as an artist, like I want each project to kind of hold its own place. This one doesn't have to be better than this one, and whatever, vice versa. It doesn't have to be like that for me. For me, I just want each project to be its own thing. I don't want people to listen to an album and be like, okay, this is the same shit you did on this one, right? And so that's what I look for when I go into these projects. So I didn't come into this expecting it to be on par with or better, or that I have to like it more than Forever Story. So with that being said, I genuinely really, really enjoyed this project. And although I don't think it is JID's best, I think it has a very strong case. I would personally say it's his second best. I think Forever Story is still his best album, but I would put this one second because there are some tracks that I think really, really are super high peaks. You Ugly, Glory, Work, and Community is a monster start to the project. And even G's like, that is a unreal start to the project. I will say that for me personally, there's some tracks in the middle when we kind of get into like some of the softer tones of the album, some of the more R&B aesthetic of the album. It's just a personal taste thing. It's not me saying these songs are bad at all, but I have always like had taken more of a liking to like JID just on his rap shit versus JID on his like R&B type of stuff. And yeah, so I don't want to say it lulls, but the middle portion of this project I don't quite enjoy as much as the rest of it. And I think what made me love Forever Story so much was those were R&B influenced tracks that JID was doing that I actually like really, really resonated with, which was rare for me and JID. Like JID and R&B and those R&B style tracks just never quite fully connected with me in the same way that his other stuff did. But on Forever Story, those type of tracks did connect with me in the same way that his rap stuff did. And I think that's why I ended up enjoying that project as much as I did, because there is not a moment on that project that I'm not like fully engaged. And I can't say the same for here. I'm gonna just be honest, bro. Like, it's not me saying anything bad about JID, anything bad about JID's music. I think this album is fucking incredible and impressive as hell. And I think it being this low on the list at number 8 is a testament to just how great of a year this was for rap. Because this album is awesome and it should be higher, but I just can't, because there are tracks on here that I don't quite love as much as others. I can't convince myself that I enjoy it more than the projects that I have above it. I do really, really love the way he ends this thing off. K-Word and For Keeps, I think, is like a phenomenal way to end this project. Look, man, I'm gonna say this. I'm not gonna say no names or anything, but have y'all kind of been catching some of the shit that I've been catching, where I feel like JID is throwing subs at a very famous and popular rapper right now? And maybe I'm not saying names because I don't want to stir a fucking pot that isn't there. You know what I'm saying? I might just be a schizo kid reading into shit too much, like I always do. But is anybody else getting that? Like, has anybody else heard like some of the lines on Forever Story and on this project and kind of been like, bro, are you throwing shots at a certain someone? I don't know. Let me know what y'all think about that. But yeah, man, great fucking project nonetheless. JID, you're not gonna see this, but if you did see this, great fucking project, man. Incredibly impressive project. I don't think you disappoint, bro. I have not heard a project from Jid that I didn't love. So yeah, I'm super excited to see where he goes next. I wish I could have put this project higher, but I just can't. I can't, man. I love these other ones that I have above it. I love them too much. So we go into number 7. Number 7 on the list, I have Alfredo, Freddie Gibbs, well, Alfredo 2, Freddie Gibbs, and The Alchemist. So I'm somebody who like was obsessed with that first Alfredo album. Sorry if I burped in the mic. I hope y'all didn't hear that. But I was obsessed with that first Alfredo album. And I'm obsessed with really anytime Freddie gets together with a producer for a full project. I just feel like whenever Freddie is using one producer for a full project, it really allows that project to feel like its own world or its own movie or its own space. And I just love that. I love Freddie when it feels like each album is a movie. Some of Freddie's projects where he's not working with one producer, they don't really feel like they don't feel as I don't even know what the word I'm looking for is. The world doesn't feel as honed in, and that's not to say that it isn't. It's just to say that for me, I don't get drawn into the space that Freddie is in for that project quite as easily as when he works with one producer. When he works with one producer, it's like Pinata, Bandana, Alfredo's 1 and 2. Like these feel like almost fucking movies to me. And I also just kind of noticed that like anytime he gets together with one singular producer for a full project, it feels like it feels like a classic damn near every time. I mean, for me, Pinata is a no doubt classic, and Bandana to me is a no doubt classic. Alfredo, I think, is a personal classic for me too, and we'll see how this one stands the test of time moving forward. But I absolutely love this thing, man. I was talking earlier on the Chance project about like subject matter meaning a lot to me. And so the reason why this one doesn't get higher because I absolutely love the production on this thing, like sound wise and just flow wise and Freddie's delivery, like just sound. When I put this thing on, this is just rap this is the type of shit I grew up on. Like I love this album and the way it sounds. The reason why it doesn't end up higher on this list is just kind of because of the subject matter. Like I don't pull a whole lot from this album on that front. Like I just don't. This is just an album that I just really enjoy listening to. I just really enjoy hearing Freddie rap. I really enjoy hearing these beats from Al, but it's not like anything really, really secures me from a subject matter standpoint like the projects that I have above this one. And so for that reason, that's why it falls this low. But Freddie is rapping his ass off. The beats are incredible. And I highly recommend this to any rap fan, bro. Like if you haven't listened to this, I think there's something wrong. There is no reason for you to have not heard this yet. I really love how he ends it. You'll notice a common theme, man. I really care about how projects close, and I think 1,000 Mountains is a fucking fire way to end this project. And I feel Freddie. That is one of the moments on this album where I really do feel what Freddie is saying, where he's like, I should just get on my Andre 3000 and disappear in the mountains with a flute and fuck you guys. Like I feel him on that. So Freddie, you did get me. You did connect with me subject matter wise there, but yeah, man. Overall, phenomenal project. Like Freddie Gibbs is extremely consistent. I love rappers where you can tell that they just love this shit. They just love rapping. And they don't really care about, commercial success. This is just what they do. And Freddie is one of those guys and almost never ever disappoints. So shout out to Freddie, his consistency and just keeping this thing that we love alive, man. And then, so we're going to get to number 6. Number 6, I have, and this is a project that really, really resonates with me. I still play it a lot. Even now that we're into 2026 and I still find myself playing this project a lot. But it is going to be from the private collection of Saba and No ID by Saba and No ID. And again, I guess it's not just a Freddie thing. I was saying it like it was just a Freddie thing, but in general, I just love when rappers link up with the producer for an entire project. And give myself a quick plug. My next project is a project titled Moss Juice, which I'm working on with Got the Juice Productions. And so I'm doing it myself right now. Like I love when artists lock in with one producer for a full project. I just feel like it really helps create a full world. And I feel that way again here with this project. Some of like my favorite songs from 2025 period end up on this thing. Like Every Painting Has a Price, Woes of the World, absolutely like some of my favorite songs period from that year. So this album connects with me on pretty much every single level. I love the instrumentals and I love the sound of it. It just really has a real like early morning calming, like just everything's gonna be okay vibe to it. And so I love this. I love this album. I love the subject matter of this album. Saba, of course, is really good lyrically. He doesn't slouch when it comes to the technical aspects of lyricism, but he also is very experimental and focuses a lot on his cadence and his deliveries too. Like there's a lot of moments on this album where he's using his voice in ways that I wouldn't expect, and I think it lends to the enjoyment of the project. Um, but yeah, I love everything about this thing, man. I highly recommend it. I don't think there's anything that I could say about it that you won't hear for yourself if you just go put it on. So I think I'll just say like just go listen to this one. It's a project that I didn't see a whole lot of people talking about. Like these other projects, the Chance project, the Jid project, the Freddie project, like I heard people talking about those a lot. I haven't really heard people talk about the Saba and No Idea album too much, and it is genuinely one of my favorite projects from last year. So go listen to it if you have not. I love everything about it. We're getting into the top 5 of this top 11. And at number 5, I got Let God Sort 'Em Out by Clips. And some of y'all are going to think this is way too low, and I understand that. Um I I want to remind people that like this is based off of just how much I personally enjoyed these projects, and I'm not trying to rank this off of any sort of like criteria. Like I don't have any sort of criteria for this list. This is genuinely just like what projects do I think I listened to or resonated with the most from 2025. And so that's why it doesn't make it a little bit higher, but still top 5, bro. Like this album is fucking insane, man. It is fucking insane. If I was trying to make this list objective, I do think I would end up putting it a little bit higher, but I would be lying to you if I said that I listened to it as much as I listened to the 4 projects, or that it resonated with me as much as the 4 projects above it. But if I was trying to be objective, bro, some of these songs are absolutely otherworldly, bro. Chains and Whips is like one of the best rap songs of last year. Maybe you can make a very, very strong case, the best rap song from last year. And then to follow that up with POV, So Be It, Ace Trumpets. Later on in the project, you get Mike Tyson, Blow to the Face. You get FICO, Ibita. Like, it is just absurd, bro. The features are absurd. They begin it strongly and emotionally with Birds Don't Sing, and they close it strongly and emotionally with By the Grace of God. Pharrell did his thing with these beats. Absolutely did his thing with these beats. I think this has a very strong case. Like this, I'm not gonna say this is Clip's best album, but I think it sits right there with Lord Willin'. I think it sits right there with Hell Hath No Fury. And yeah, man, like I really believe that this sits in the same tier as those first 2 projects. And I loved it, man. Like my first listen to that project was like I felt like a kid again. Like it felt nostalgic even though it was brand new, and it was just such a good thing, a good feeling to hear Malice back doing what he does and as well as he was on this album. Um that shit it just put a smile on my face, man. Love everything about it. Lyrically on point. Like this is an album that I think it's worthwhile to study. I think this is an exhibition in lyricism. I think it's an exhibition in beat making. And to be quite frank, I think it's even an exhibition in album structure. Like I said, if I was trying to be objective, bro, this shit probably gets higher because all the things I just mentioned, like masterclass and all of those. But just these 4 that I got above it, man, like I'm not gonna lie. Those four I have above it are my four favorite albums from this year. And so that being said, let's get into those four. At number four, and this is a tough one for me because I really wrestled back and forth between putting this one above the album that I have at number three versus not. And I ultimately decided to have the album I have at three, be the one at that spot. But A Murder of Crows by Mick Jenkins comes in at number four. And it being at number four, like there was a good portion of the year where I was listening to this project and questioning to myself, is this my favorite album from this year? And ultimately, obviously, I decided it's not. That's why I have it at four. But I say that to say that all of these are like of the same tier. Like once we start getting into this upper crop, like I listened to all of these pretty much about the same amount. I resonated with all of them extremely heavy. But this project was just so fucking good, man. It just had such a dark, like, I guess melancholic is kind of the word I'm looking for, vibe to it. But it was so good. I loved the production. I loved the world that the production on this album created. And I think Mick was just incredible lyrically. Like there's some amazing, amazing verses on here. I love a lot of the subject matter on here. A lot of this is cool because it's mellow motivation music. A lot of motivation music is like in the gym pumping like super hype shit. And I'm just not like that typically. Like I'm typically a very in the cut, chill person. And so this was right up my alley because it's motivation music, like with songs like Move and songs like Workers' Comp. Like these are songs that are like motivating you and kind of picking at your conscience to be like, you need to move, you need to get shit going. And I like that a lot about this project without it, but it motivates you without having to pump a bunch of adrenaline in you. And I think that's dope. I don't know a lot of albums that do that for me. Like I don't know a lot of albums that get me motivated and want to get me moving while still feeling very melancholic and kind of toned down sonically. But yeah, I love everything about it. I love what Mick did lyrically. I love the subject matter, like I said. I think it's just a really unique project, and it is one of my favorite projects from Mick in a minute. I don't know that I like my two favorite projects from Mick are probably Pieces of a Man and The Waters. And where this sits amongst those two, I don't quite know yet. I do see it on the same tier as those two. I just don't know if I like it more than those two. But I enjoyed this more than any project from Mick since Pieces of a Man. I think I could say that confidently. Like I think this is my favorite Mick Jenkins project since Pieces of a Man. And Mick, you've built yourself one hell of a discography, bro. I absolutely love it. I can't wait to see what you do next. I'm always looking forward to your drops. I am kind of penny pinching right now, so I can't cop the vinyl. I see you're selling it for $100, and more power to you. Like if that's what you price your art at, that's what you price your art at. Every painting has a price, and like I'm not saying you a bad person for pricing your shit at $100. Like if I had a fan base to be able to do that, I would probably do it too because shit's rough out here, bro. Like you got to make money off this music shit somehow, and Lord knows streaming ain't fucking doing it. So more power to you, Mick. Charge 100 for your vinyl. I just can't afford it right now, but I really wish I could because I fuck with this album heavy. So yeah, coming in at number four, A Murder of Crows, Mick Jenkins, and Emil. And then at number three, and I think this one might get some hate. I think my top three are gonna get some hate, and that's okay, man. Like this is my list. Like y'all can hate if you want to. If you even made it this far, then you have to like the albums I'm putting on here, which means you gotta have somewhat of similar taste to me. But we'll see. We'll see if we get some hate for these top three. At number three, I have Live, Laugh, Love, Earl Sweatshirt. And I fucking love this project, man. Like, I get that there is unconventional things about it. Like, I get some of the mixes, some of the approach to these songs feels very strange to some people. And so I get why a lot of people wouldn't resonate with a project like this and wouldn't resonate with a lot of Earl projects. But if you're familiar with Earl, you kind of already expect this experimentation. You already expect maybe a grading mix here and there, you already expect Earl to just kind of go left field with it. And I think that has become part of his brand and part of why we love his music so much. Um, but I understand why this project wouldn't resonate with some people, is what I'm getting at. That being said, it fucking resonates with me heavy. I talked about I talked about how subject matter is vitally important to me. I love the subject matter on this album. It's really nice to hear Earl still. Earl has always been reflective and contemplative, right? But he just sometimes is coming from, he's sometimes reflecting and contemplating from a place of depression, or he's sometimes reflecting and contemplating from, you know, these different spaces. Well, on this album, it is nice that he is not in the depression space. It's not like that part of him is gone. It's not like that part of him is like completely gone. Like there's still that void that you can hear in just kind of some of his philosophies of life and just kind of in the music, really. But you can tell he's in a brighter space. You can tell that he's a father. You can tell that he is living, laughing, and loving. And it's just nice, bro. It's just not, when you grew up on Earl being in such dark spaces and assisting you through such dark spaces, to hear him in a space that isn't quite as dark, while he's still giving you the same reflectiveness, the same contemplativeness, the same pen game. I mean, like, don't get it twisted. Like, lyrically, Earl is still one of the greatest rappers of all time. I have to appreciate it, bro. And I think with the test of time, projects like these are going to be returned to more in Earl's discography than some of his really, really like a downtrodden. I hope that I'm using that word that using that word right. But I could see these having more of a replay ability than and I Don't Like Shit, I Don't Go Outside. Not that it's a better album than that album, but something about this sound and this mentality and this type of album from Earl, just it feels like it's more so assisting you through your day as opposed to like being like a shoulder for you to cry on when you're not getting through your day. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. But yeah, man, I absolutely love this thing. Um Golden State Warriors versus Sack. Stop chasing. If you know, you know. If you know, you know why Earl named this track Golden State Warriors versus Sack. Stop chasing. You fucking degenerates. Uh Forge, Infatuation, Gamma, well done. Like Crisco, Tourmaline, Exhaust is a phenomenal way to end it. I can't get enough of this thing, man. I played the fucking shit out of this project. I'm gonna continue playing the shit out of this project. Earl is one of my favorite rappers of all time, and to me, it just came with another installation in the discography that I am going to play the shit out of for God knows how long. So shout out to Earl, man. Never disappoints me, and truthfully, I think one of the greatest lyricists we've ever seen. All right, man. Number 2. Coming in at number 2, we've got I Heard It's a Mess There Too. Now, this is really number 1. Okay, so why is there 11 albums? Because really, my number 2 is my number 1, and you guys will see why when I say what my number 1 is. So this whole time, like, the reason why I had that mix up in the beginning with number 11 being number 10 is because this whole move, this is number 1 and the whole list moves down, even though it's technically number 2, and you guys will see why. All right. But number 2, technically 1, we got I Heard It's a Mess There Too by A$AP Rock. And some of you who are smart in the brain probably realize this is what it was going to be, because I think I said early on that I have an artist with 2 projects on here, and A$AP, I think, was the only artist I named who dropped 2. Did Freddie drop 2? I think Saba might have dropped 2. But yeah, just I feel like a lot of you probably put together as we neared this that A$AP was gonna be the second one, because I think the general consensus is that even though I Heard It's a Mess There Too is a shorter album and it doesn't seem like it was trying to do as much or try to be as maximal as Black Hole Superette, I think the general consensus is that it's a better or more enjoyable album. And I agree with that. This is one of my favorite A$AP albums, period, bro. Like, period. His whole fucking discography. Like, I love the beats. Something about it. They have the dark kind of haunting aesthetic of like a Spirit World field guide, but they really just kind of have this boom bap aesthetic of like early Aesop too. Um, that is just super dope. Like to get this dark, almost horror movie kind of synths and chords paired with this boom bap sound, it was just fucking sick. And the flows, hearing Aesop over boom bap production, the flows were just immaculate. The lyricism is always gonna be on point. Aesop is never gonna disappoint you on a lyrical front. I love the subject matter. It's weirdo loner raps. It's weirdo loner schizo raps, and I'm a weirdo loner schizo. So I mess with this shit heavy, bro. And the subject matter and just the general idea of the project, like I heard it's a mess there too. No matter where you are in the fucking world right now, or no matter where you are in your head, no matter where the fuck you are physically or metaphysically, it's a fucking mess. And when you look out at where everyone else is, it's a mess out there too. So no matter where the fuck you are in the world, it's a fucking mess. And I love that idea. I love the heavy metaphor that Aesop uses in all of his songs. I can't say enough about this project, bro. It is my favorite project of last year. It is my number one, even though it's technically number two. And you'll see why. But yeah, man, I heard it's a mess there too, Aesop Rock. Excluding my number one, my favorite project from last year. And I still play the shit out of it. And yeah, some people might be mad at this top three, bro. Me having Mick Jenkins, Earl Sweatshirt, and Aesop Rock in the top three, but I'm not here to give you guys a conventional list. I'm not here to put Clips at the top and Freddie at the top and Jid at the top when those aren't the projects that I listen to the most. Genuinely, the projects I listen to the most are these ones at the top here. And so I just wanted to when I did this, I wanted to make sure that I was honest about that. I wanted to make sure that I was transparent and like, nah, these are Kenny Moss's favorite projects. I'm not here to give you guys Pitchfork's favorite rap projects of 2025. I'm not here to give you guys the Grammys' favorite rap projects of 2025. I'm here to give you guys Kenny Moss's favorite rap projects of 2025. And this is the list. That being said, at number one, what is number one? Number one is So We Shot Them Down by Kenny Moss. My shit is at number one. So now y'all can see why I said that Aesop is really the number one. Because is it fair to put my shit at number one? No, it's not fair. I have extreme bias towards my own shit. So you can kind of view mine as like it's number 0 and everything else is 1 through 10. All the other 11 are 1 through 10, and this is number 0. But this is my number one. Damn it, bro. I genuinely was really happy with how this project came out, man. And it was my first time getting like real professional mixes. Shout out to Sean Canister. Like, I am eternally grateful for every time that dude mixes one of my songs. But yeah, man, it just, everything that happened with me last year, I was in the psych ward in 2024. I get out of the psych ward. Last year was a crazy year for me. I'm not going to get all into the super details, but from an accomplishment standpoint and from a dreams coming true and a meeting your heroes standpoint, last year was absolutely insane for me. And I had the pigeons move in on my balcony shortly after I decided to start making the project. And it's just the way everything aligned last year with this project. And although I've dropped the ball on certain aspects of the release, it still came out when I wanted it to, which meant a lot to me. And yeah, man, I love it. I love it. I'm not gonna sit here and hella talk about myself, because that's not what we're here for. We're here for the top 11 rap albums of 2025. We're not here to talk about just my album, but please go listen to my album if you guys haven't. Maybe I'll get on here and give a whole spiel and break it down. I did an interview with my man Andy Ordonez not too long ago, so maybe I'll post that interview, an unedited version of that interview soon. I think he plans on starting a podcast that he was going to have it be on as well. But I go in depth on the album and its creation and the concept of the album and everything in that. But I don't want to give too much away, because I want people to leave shit up for interpretation. But please go listen to my project. Let me know what you think about it down below. Let me know what you think of the other albums that made my top 10/top 11. Where am I fucking up? What am I forgetting? All that shit. Hopefully I remember to put honorable mentions up here. There's going to be a shit ton, because there was so many projects in 2025 that were absolutely incredible. But yeah, guys, Radio Moss is back, absent but never really gone. You feel me? And we back. I'm gonna try. I'm not gonna stick to any crazy schedule or commit myself to anything that I may not be able to do, because this is very much a side thing for me. Like, I have like 3 to 4 other obligations that take priority over this podcast. I'm just keeping it real. So, you know, I would like to be able to commit to, you guys are at least gonna get 1 episode a week. So I'll at least commit to that. But yeah, this is a off the charts. I mean, I have all these different ideas for all these different kinds of series. I'm gonna put the names there. I'm gonna put the things there. Whether or not anybody pays attention, I don't know. But I paid for all the logos to be drawn, so I'm gonna use the series names. This is a off the charts. I think it's the second one, because I think the first one was the Kanye ranking. If you guys haven't seen that, go watch that. See how I would rank Kanye albums. But yeah, man. I hope everybody's doing well, surviving in this crazy fucked up world. Fuck ICE, free Palestine. Fuck Hollywood and the industry and all the elites. And yeah, that's all I gotta say, bro. Let me know what you guys feel about these albums down below, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.
Bye, guys. We'll see you later.
Tell them like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe, and double like.
Yeah.
See you.